Plant-based meats are all the rage at popular fast food restaurants, but are they healthier for you than their meat counterparts? That's the topic of this week's Healthcare Triage. According to market research, the demand for plant-based proteins is growing rapidly in the United States, and the fast food industry is responding. White Castle introduced their Impossible Sliders last year, and Burger King went nationwide with their Impossible Whoppers in August, both of which are, of course, made with the soybean-based meat substitute created by the Impossible Foods company. Subway is exploring the option of plant-based meatballs made from the pea protein-based meat substitute created by the Beyond Meat company. Del Taco has Beyond Tacos, Carroll Jr. offers up their Beyond Famous Star Burger, and KFC is now testing Beyond Meat meatless fried chicken. But these aren't the first meatless products to be offered by fast food companies. Veggie sliders are on the menu at White Castle. Burger King has long offered a veggie burger, Carl's Jr. offers the Veggie Guacamole Burger, and Del Taco has a myriad of meatless options, like the 8-layer veggie burrito, as does Subway with options like the Veggie Delight. So what's the big deal with Impossible and Beyond Meats when we already have so many vegetarian options? For starters, Impossible and Beyond Meats were created to emulate the texture and taste of actual meat, whereas the taste and texture of veggie patties is immediately discernible from that of a meat patty. The plant-based meat patties look and taste much more like their meat counterparts. The Impossible Burger even bleeds like meat, thanks to the use of heme, a meat protein that the Impossible company produces from yeast. These meat-like qualities likely appeal more to non-vegetarians who would consider meat replacements but don't enjoy the taste or texture of vegetable or bean-based alternatives, or to people who simply enjoy the taste of a hamburger. We know that cutting back on meat consumption is better for the planet. More on the caveats of that in next week's episode, but that's not the only reason plant-based meat is on the vegetarian and non-vegetarian minds alike. Demands for meatless products is rising partly because consumers perceive them as being better for health than meat-based options. And that's where we're gonna take exception. People, we're still talking about fast food. It's highly processed and has a bunch of issues whether it's meat-based or not. In terms of nutritional value, the plant-based alternatives aren't that different from the meat products when you compare the numbers. In fast food language, plant-based does not translate to healthy. Take the Impossible Whopper. It has only 30 fewer calories than a regular Whopper. 630 as opposed to 660, 34 grams of fat compared to a regular Whopper's 40 grams, 11 as opposed to 12 grams of saturated fat, and it has 1,080 milligrams of sodium, 100 milligrams more than its meaty counterpart. It also offers 3 grams fewer of protein and only 2 more grams of fiber. Likewise, the Impossible Slider at White Castle and Beyond Tacos from Del Taco aren't a great switch in terms of nutritional value. The per-calorie values for most nutrients are roughly the same, meaning both are about equivalent in things like fat and sodium. In fact, despite a whopping 40 grams of fat and 1,550 milligrams of sodium, Carl's Jr. lists their Beyond Famous Burger under the Better For You Options tab on their website. Why? Because public perception is that plant-based equals healthy, and a good marketing team knows how to work with public perception. As for the meatless chicken tenders, going with this option in lieu of the regular tenders only saves you 10 calories and 1 gram of fat. If your focus is on animal welfare, this could turn out great for you if meatless fried chicken ends up being delicious. But if health is the motivator for changing your meat-eating ways, this isn't really a viable alternative, given that it's, still fried fast food. I realize that many people will say the health benefit resides in the elimination of red and processed meat from one's diet. Those people probably don't watch many healthcare triage videos, and they definitely haven't read my book. As I've been saying, and as a series of recently published meta-analyses support, the evidence for a link between meat and poor health is, well, poor. Unless you're eating enormous amounts of meat every day, the current evidence simply doesn't support reducing consumption for clinically significant healthier outcomes. If you know me, you know I'm not here to demonize any particular food. The occasional fast food dalliance, meat-based or not, isn't gonna kill you. If going meatless better aligns with your earth and ethics-related values, great. Just don't use the meatless options with the plant-based tagline as an excuse to overindulge in something that seems at surface value to be a health-conscious choice, but definitely is not. Hey, did you like this episode? You might enjoy this other episode on red meat and cancer from just a couple months ago. We'd also like to ask you to like the video and subscribe to the show if you feel so inclined. And another good way to support the show is at patreon.com/healthcaretriage, where you can make the show bigger and better, just like our research associate Joe Sevitz and, of course, our Surgeon Admiral Sam.